Hey guys, the Basic Brick here. Today going to be doing something a little special for this week's Spooky Saturdays. We're going to be covering the weird world of Team Fortress 2 Creepypastas. Yeah, that's right. We're going to be looking at the shitty, scary stories of the Team Fortress 2 world. So, I guess without further ado, let's just hop right into this. Alright guys, so the first creepypasta we're going to be covering here is definitely my favorite in terms of ironic enjoyment. This one is craft number 666, and you know, with a title like that, some shit's about to go down. Also, for some fucking reason, there's ads on this shitty, like, bootleg creepypasta wiki. Even though I have ad block on, yeah, so we're just gonna have to deal with that. Let's take an IQ test, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Our IQ is probably room temperature level, since we're actually reading this shit. So, the best part about this creepypasta, honestly, is this fucking image, this thumbnail you get when you first click on this, creepypasta. It's just so good, dude. It's the fucking engineer smiling portrait, except he's got, like, glowing red goggles. And, like, MS Paint default paintbrush tool blood, like, dripping from his eyes and mouth. And he's wearing, like, dark clothes for some fucking reason, because dark clothes are scary. Yeah, this image is... This is, like, my favorite cursed TF2 image of all time. So basically, this creepypasta is about some fucking kid named Nick, probably a middle schooler, and he's like playing TF2 back in the day when like idling was like an actual reliable thing, and he gets like refined metal as an item drop, even though, you know, that's not something that's ever been possible, and it wasn't possible back then. It's not possible now. You don't get metal as a refined drop, but I guess they added that because that's spooky or something. So he combines that with the two metal he's already got, and he gets a mining light. However, when the craft screen fucking pops up, it just screams for some reason. And it says crafting succeeded but backwards, which, you know, that's scary. Backwards letters, that's fucking scary. The hat's craft number, it's like the mining light, and it's 666. For some reason, they have this image here, but it is so fucking compressed. I can't read it. I can't really look at it. So he's fucking freaking out because it's the scary NGs and like the craft and like the class portrait on the item. So instead of doing anything else, he just fucking goes to bed for some reason. And then he wakes up, goes to school, tells his friends about it, and his friends are like, "Oh, that's scary." And then he goes to his like tech nerd bro friend's house and is like, "Hey man, I want to show you this hat," and he tells him the story, and then the friend, like being an asshole, just kicks him out because he's like, that's too scary. I don't like this. This is giving me the creeps, you know. And he kicks his friend out, so the friend goes back to his house and like is like, you know, I'm just gonna play TF2 again, even though this is like clearly haunted. And he keeps playing TF2, and he joins a server, and like his entire team gets killed, and like they don't respawn for some reason, and like his screen starts turning like red, and I don't know, that's scary. Apparently red is the scary color, ladies and gentlemen. And then eventually he's the only like red team guy left, and the blue team is just looking at him for some reason instead of killing him. And then his like character just starts acting on its own because he's like playing as the engineer, and he just fucking murders everyone. And then the engineer just starts screaming for some reason because apparently that's what the engineer does when he's like possessed or whatever. And then he just goes to bed right after that because fuck it. And then he has like a fucking nightmare where he's like he's like the spy in his nightmare, and he like tries sapping an engineer's sentry, but the engineer turns out to be the scary engineer, and he like rips his arm off and says, "Now just stop trying to mess with my contraptions, Nick," which is, thank you, engineer, thank you. And the kid starts freaking out in his dream. He gets like his heart ripped out by the engineer. and then fucking he wakes up and like I like how he has to, in the creepypasta, he has to explain that this was his first nightmare in over 5 years, because, you know, you gotta be extra specific about that. My favorite part about this creepypasta is that after he, like, deletes TF2 and the hat up from his computer, there's just a guy, like, looking at, like, just a random dude looking in from his fucking window, and then he just runs away. It has nothing to do with Team Fortress 2. It's not the engineer looking at him. It's just some random guy who looks at him, waves, and then, like, runs off. So this is a creepypasta I recently found out, like, that existed. It's a pretty recent one, but it's literally just, like, the TF2 version of, like, the Rugrats theory creepypasta, or, like, the Ash's Coma theory creepypasta. It's one of those creepypastas where it's like, instead of this thing being real in the show or a game or a movie or whatever, it's actually in a person's head who's terminally ill. And this one is like, the scout is a guy from Boston who got hit in the head with a baseball bat, and he thinks his dad is a guy named the Spy. And the father, who is, I guess, the spy now, makes a bunch of toys for him that are all like the rest of the TF2 cast. And, yeah, that's literally just this creepypasta. It's just the fucking Rugrats theory, but instead of it being Angelica Pickles thinking a bunch of dead babies are real, it's, I don't know, the scout in a vegetative state thinking that all of his little toys are, like, his teammates or something. Oh, yeah, also, like, the medic is in this creepypasta, too, for some reason. He's the doctor at the Boston hospital. Alright, so the next two creepypastas here are just fucking names Sniper and Spy. That's just what they're called. It's just like nothing really special. It's just the name of the class. So let's start with Sniper first, because, you know, Sniper's the class I like to play. So this creepypasta is just awful. Also, its formatting is horrible, so when I had to fucking read this thing for this video, I was, like, getting a headache because of just there's no proper, like, paragraphs. It's just all written in one, like, block. And it's like white text on a black background, making my eyes bleed. It's not good, folks. It's not good. So basically, this is a creepypasta about a guy who loves playing Sniper, and he's like really good at Sniper, and he's so good he can like kill aimbots, which, I mean, dude, we need this guy to come back. We need this man to come back and, you know, fix the bot problem if he's that good. So yeah, this guy's practicing Spy on Hightower, and then he keeps getting killed by like this epic pro gamer Sniper who's just like a default sniper, and he's basically like aimbotting. The main character thinks he's just aimbotting, and for some reason the creepypasta has to mention that he has a strange sniper rifle, but guess what? It doesn't actually count the kills. It's stuck at 0. Ooh, spooky, a broken strange weapon. But yeah, basically he keeps joining new servers and like is getting followed by this guy, and he's like, okay, this is really annoying. So he just switches to Sniper and kills the guy a bunch of times, and then the Sniper guy playing the Sniper goes into voice chat and says, "Stop and never again," in like an evil demonic voice, which is just, of course it's a demonic voice, because, you know, it couldn't just be a kind of angry sounding guy. It's got to be like Satan playing Sniper. So what this very reasonable individual does is tells him to get on Skype and, you know, talk with him, to show himself on Skype, because I guess this creepypasta was written in like 2012 or some shit. And the dude gives out his Skype number to this like rando, and he has a face call with this guy, and it turns out, guess what, guys? The dude on the other end is the Sniper! It's the TF2 Sniper in real life! What the fuck? Except it's not the Sniper, it's the Sniper, except he's, like, skinned for some reason. He, like, skinned himself with the Travelman Shiv, which, to be fair, is a pretty gross picture, you know, to think of in your mind, but still, like, why is he skinned? So yeah, he gets fucking scared by the skinned Sniper, and then he, like, decides to go outside after that to, you know, get some fresh air, but instead of being morning like it just was, it became nighttime instantly. And then he, like, wakes up, and he's like, oh, it's just a nightmare, ooh. And then he looks over the side of his bed, and he sees skinned legs, and standing above him is the Sniper, the skinned, bloody, no-skin Sniper. And then the Sniper says, "Headshot," and shoots him in the head, and just kills the protagonist, because every shitty creepypasta has to end with the protagonist just fucking dying. Alright, so now on to the Spy one. This one's a little better. It's also on the Some Ordinary Gamers wiki, which, you know, shout out to Mutahar. So this one's a little bit longer, but it's pretty similar to the previous one, except it's less stupid. It's basically about a guy who's a big fan of the Spy. He's like a total Spy main. He, like, cosplays as the Spy at, like, anime expos. And he mentions he, like, practices butterfly knife tricks. So you know this guy's a real badass. So he's playing in 2012 during the Scream Fortress event, and he's playing as the Sniper with the Huntsman. Which, by the way, great tactic, because when you're trying to kill Marasmus, everybody knows that
wizards, arrows, it doesn't mix.
So he basically just keeps getting killed by a spy named Spy, who's just like a default spy. And, yeah, that's basically this creepypasta. He gets followed into servers by this spy guy. However, when he goes into to look at the scoreboard, he can't, he can't see the spy dude. It's like he's, not really there. And in the chat, not in the voice chat, but in the text chat, the spy just keeps listing off, like, random spy catchphrases. Like, you are an amateur and a fool, and I am going to cut you like a Cornish game hen. Which, that just completely kills the mood of this creepypasta, because the spy's talking about cutting you like a Cornish game hen. But yeah, basically he just gets followed into servers by this mysterious spy player, and when he asks the other players if they can see him, they're like, yo dude, you're just like kill binding. So it's like he's just killing himself, but he sees himself getting killed by this spy, and eventually he joins like a upward server, but he gets followed by like a spy, except this time when he gets killed by him, the spy is like the skeleton voodoo cursed zombie spy. Ooh. So he gets like fucking freaked out, so he quits playing TF2 and he goes to the guy's profile, which I guess the guy apparently has a Steam profile, even though his profile didn't appear while he was actually playing Team Fortress 2. He doesn't really explain that. So he clicks on the guy's profile, and it's just like a creepy image of the spy smiling, except he's got like red eyes, because of course he has fucking red pupils. Demonic pupils, as the creepypasta says. Demonic. Because of course it's demonic. And then the guy has like 40k plus hours logged in the game, and all of them are on spy, and he's like never died as the spy in the game, which I guess is hinting at that like this person is the spy but in real life or some shit like that, since he like had played the game since it came out. I don't know, it's really dumb. He goes back to the profile after looking at the stats, and it says, I'll be seeing you, more spy quotes. And then his computer just fucking bricks. It just goes insane. The computer starts... It's like he downloaded the fucking, that one virus that, like, the memes virus. It's like he downloaded that onto his computer, except, I don't know, it's Spy TF2 themed. And then, like, the spy's face appears on his screen, and it, like, makes a loud spy laughing noise. And then he says, I'm coming for you, like the spy laugh. I don't know. It just says a bunch of scary stuff, and the spy looks like a zombie while saying this on his screen. The creepypasta, luckily, doesn't end with him getting killed or anything like that. Nothing that stupid. It just ends with him having to, like, reformat his PC, and him never playing TF2 again. Which, to be fair, if this happened to me, I probably wouldn't play TF2 again either. Alright, so before I get into the final creepypasta of this video, I just wanted to mention this one that I actually can't find anymore. At least I can't find the original version of it. And I can't find any re-uploads. All I've found of it is a pretty low-quality reading from, like, years and years ago on YouTube. I do think Mutahar also covered it back in the day, but I can't find it on his archive channel. So this might just be some fucking lost media, which, who knows, maybe someone else out there who's better at finding that stuff can find it for me. This creepypasta is just called Team Fortress 2, that's it. It's really fucking boring. I don't even remember what happened in it, besides there being, like, scouts with, like, white eyes or something like that, and, like, at the end of the creepypasta, every time he watches a TF2 video, all the characters turn towards him, and they have, like, white eyes, which is so fucking stupid. I love it. I think whoever wrote it wanted it to be kind of like, the Mario creepypasta, where it has, like, a really normal name, like, just the name of the video game. But he kind of missed the point of the Mario creepypasta, being that creepypasta is actually good, because it's based on a real experience this guy had while playing just, like, a weird ROM hack of Super Mario World. Plus, that creepypasta, in my eyes, is one of the few good gaming ones, so... Anyway, enough talking about Mario. However, I do want to mention Mario, that fucking image that they found in the game, that thing is still fucking terrifying. That victim whatever image, that still gives me the fucking chills. Alright, so I've decided to save the best for last, and I do mean the best. This is probably the least shitty out of all these creepypastas, and I think it actually has an interesting concept. So this one I'm going to be a little more charitable to, because I actually kind of like this one. Plus, this is really nostalgic. I remember listening to, like, I think it was Mutahar from Some Ordinary Gamers, like, narrate this back in the day, so I've got a little soft spot for it. So yeah, let's just get into Team Fortress 2 Play Dead. So yeah, basically it's just this guy playing TF2 after it recently became free. He'd never played it before, so he's like a new guy, kind of. And he decides to, boot up Quick Play and join a Capture the Flag server, but it takes forever, and he gets put into this server called, like, CTF Play Dead TF 905 or some shit like that. And it's just some kind of sketchy community server, but he joins it anyway, And when he gets in, he decides, you know what, I'm going to play Pyro, and it's going to be on 2-Fort. So it's a 2-Fort server. He's playing as Pyro, and then he goes on to explain what TF2 is, because this creepypasta is written for, I guess, people who don't really know what TF2 is, which is a little nice, you know, maybe you can get somebody into the game. But yeah, he basically just explains how this server is a pretty normal one. There's like 12 people playing on it. There's a bunch of engineers on one of the teams just camping in the spawn room, and people are arguing about that in chat. You know, typical 2-Fort match. Nothing much has changed since 2011, I'm going to be honest. However, one issue he did start having is that he couldn't see anybody. There was just nobody on the server, even though he saw people in, like, the kill feed. He saw people typing in the chat. He just couldn't find the actual players on the map. And 2-Fort's a tiny fucking map, so it's pretty weird. So he decides, he's gonna see if he can find anybody, and so he gets a little bored of this. He realizes, okay, I'm gonna take one look around this map. If I can't find anybody after this, I'm gonna just leave the server. So he goes down into the sewers of 2-Fort, and he actually finds a scout far away, and he decides to chase him. So he starts chasing the scout, and he sees him kind of stopped on one of the staircases, so he just walks over to him, shoots him with a flare gun, but the scout doesn't get lit on fire. He can't kill him. He's just kind of frozen there. So at this moment, he's thinking either the server's crashed, his game's crashed, something's up, you know, something's glitching out. So basically, the rest of the creepypasta is him, you know, as Pyro, exploring this distorted version of 2-Fort where all the sounds are all bugged out. Nothing overtly, you know, scary, ooh, but it's just like a broken, corrupted 2-Fort, which I do think is a pretty interesting idea. I think you could make this work. Like, you could make a map based on this, and I think it would be pretty fun to, you know, explore. Also, he's asking people in chat if they see what's going on. However, no one's responding this time. And then he gets kicked from the server, and it, like, downloads something onto his fucking PC, which, you know, every good community server downloads a ton of shitty plugins onto your computer. He gets put back in the server. However, it's not on 2-Fort this time. It's just on an even more distorted and corrupted map, and he looks at everybody's names, and it's like, I am dead 1, I am dead 2, I am dead 3, which is really dumb. I think this creepypasta is alright, but shit like that just makes it not that good. You got names like I am dead. That's just, come on, just have them be like blank or something like that. I am dead is just like, it's just dumb. But yeah, basically the rest of this creepypasta, he ends up seeing this like kind of corrupted, weird version of the scout he saw earlier, except he's like distorted and kind of looks like a crab. So, you know, scout crab, that's a thing now. We had the spy crab, and now we got the scout crab. You know, like father, like son. It's pretty cool. This predicted the spy being Scout's father. Eventually, the scout starts running towards him, and like a bunch of static appears, and he gets kicked from the server. So he basically gets jump scared by the spooky scout. And after this, he basically quits playing for the night, and he really hadn't played it since then. And then he eventually comes back to the game and joins the server again. However, this time it's just like an empty King of the Hill map. Nothing really weird is there, except like, I don't know, apparently the audio's kind of glitched out. Alright, so that was TF2 Playdead. Not the best creepypasta of all time. It still is a gaming creepypasta, and pretty much all gaming creepypastas in my eyes are from mediocre to just absolute shit. However, this one, I think had a pretty cool concept. This, you know, kind of corrupted community server. I think it could have been done better, but what do I know? I'm not a writer. Alright guys, that'll be the end of this video. I think I'm gonna continue making some of these kind of like, I don't know, internet exploration videos where I just look at dumb stories on the internet. I may occasionally do those for Spooky Saturdays. My next Spooky Saturday will definitely be playing a horror game though, and that's what it'll mainly be, but I'm a big fan of internet horror, be it good internet horror or bad internet horror. I just like it all. And I had a lot of fun making this video, so if you guys want to see more of this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it too. I'm the Basic Brick, and I'm out.
Have a nice day.